What is up, RotoGrinders? Dean here. Dean78904 if you want to get all technical. Right now, it's 2 hours of nonstop MLB DFS conversation, taking you all the way up to first pitch here on a Tuesday, on a television Tuesday. We'll be giving away a week free of RG Premium. First person that tells me what TV show I'm talking about in the Discord channel. We'll be scrolling that first clue here momentarily. Let's go ahead and drop that. Let's get it out of the way. Get to the first clue. Let's get the beak wet for the people. Again, jump in the Discord channel, rotogrinders.com/Discord, the live stream chat channel. Be the first person to tell me what TV show I'm talking about. We'll drop 5 clues. That's your first one. One more coming soon enough. One guess per clue drop there in the Discord. You get to, RG Premium, football, baseball, basketball, NBA, PGA, WNBA, MMA, all the goods, all the bells, all the whistles, SimLabs, the optimizer, the projections, the articles, the rankings. I'm sure I missed something in there. It's myself and Head Chopper for the first hour here until we yield to Derek Carty, CEO of the Bat and the Blitz, as well as Roth. Roth coming on, chief meteorologist. Nothing really in the forecast. It's just kind of cold in a lot of spots. I know that's what Roth wrote about. I'll go ahead and drop this in chat for the people. But Detroit and the Athletics game. That's the one that's really kind of popping. 11 total, both teams with a team total above 5. With some shaky pitching there, especially on the Athletics side. And we know about that ballpark, really positive for hitting. On a 12-gamer tonight, there is, I think, 4 or 5 teams that do have a team total above 5, so there are some pivots. It is myself, returning champion, Head Chopper. Chop, how are things doing? How's Tuesday treating you?
It's busy, Dean. It's busy. How it's treating me. It's busy. We got, baseball. Still trying to get ready for 3 days of football coming up Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then we have the pros after next weekend after that. So, man, it's a hectic time of year, but it's what we're here for, man. It's what we love, right? A little sports action, Dean.
I know you were talking a little bit of college football stuff behind the scenes with producer Steve before the show. That show is going to be on Fridays. Is that correct, Chop?
Friday. We record that sucker on Fridays.
Yeah. This is a full-fledged slate, right? I think there's a bunch of everybody's playing essentially this weekend.
This is a big boy. This is the big boy. Big boy
Week
start
one.
off. Although I will say that, yes, plenty of games, lots of games, full day, starting at 11 a.m., running all the way through the West Coast, like 9:30 game, whatever. I will say that, the first couple of weeks, they do have a lot of cupcake matchups, and that's to be. Now, don't get me wrong. Texas and Ohio State play this. That's a number one. That's 2 top 5 teams going at it already. Yeah. So there's some good games, but there's a lot of bad matchups too. You got to weed through. It really gets good in conference play, but I'm not going to try to be picky here. We're going to, we've been ready for some football for a while now. Oh, Dean, we had the NFL cut day today. Lots of cutting going on today. So
I saw Tommy Cutlets got cut. Anything else that's of note? Anything actually important? I didn't really get a chance to fully dig into the NFL stuff. I've been kind of busy with the baseball content.
Yeah, lots of good stuff if you're down there, in the trenches, man. If you're in the trenches and you're like all up into it, lots of good stuff, Dean. Let's see. I forget what I was at. Well, I was expecting Phil Maffa went on the IR for the Cowboys, which means to me they don't want to try to practice squad him because they'll think he was going to get claimed. So they're trying to, keep his services. So they went on the IR, but that means that he's not going to play for a while, which means that you're getting Javonte Williams season in Dallas until until he breaks down. I don't mind.
It's going to pass, right?
I don't mind it, Dean. I think we're now 2 years removed from the major knee surgery. He's still young. I think he has a bounce back year. I think he's in good shape. Taysom Hill to start on the PUP list. Hunter Renfrow got cut.
Is Taysom going to play a game this year? Like I don't
know.
I saw people drafting him in best ball, and I was like laughing at them. Like, what are you doing? I think he's like done.
Saints named Spencer Rattler as the starting QB. Man, what a joke!
I have so much of the other guy as like my last pick.
That's a bad team this year, man. That is a bad team this year. So
good receivers though.
Our boy Deuce Vaughn got cut today.
I didn't see that.
Deuce season is over. Xavier Reception got cut for Tennessee. That was Cam Ward's number one wide receiver in college. So they thought they might be able to rekindle that. He obviously wasn't. He just didn't have the size or the speed to do it. Sam Hartman got waived by the Commanders. Kenny Pickett got traded. We said that yesterday, didn't we? Kenny Pickett got
they
traded?
had 4 quarterbacks, so they had to trade one of them, right?
Yeah, Pickett, boy, what a crazy first round pick that was for the Steelers, man. That was terrible. Yeah, there's all kinds of good stuff. If you really,
did I see Cooper sign with the Raiders? Is that something I saw?
Amari with the Raiders.
Yeah, I mean that's not really going to matter, I don't think.
Okay, so he signed for $3.5 million. Boy, that's nothing, right? That's
yeah. I mean,
nothing in today's NFL, which tells me if nobody else was willing to give him that kind of money, he may physically be washed. Like if nobody was willing to do anything up until now, like that, he may be washed.
I guess they have a couple of rookie receivers, after, some of their other guys, obviously, but I guess he's got a chance to be like the 4th receiver or something like that out there. Maybe that's a comment on them not loving Besh so much. I don't know. But like you said, it's not a huge investment either these days. How old is he? Like 32, 33? I don't know how old he is, but it feels like he's probably younger than I feel like he actually is. He feels older in my head.
Probably.
All right. Hit that like button. Do subscribe. Do turn on those notifications. We got the knockers coming up later on in the show. I have it on good authority that today we actually do have a BBP suggestion. Like it's actually going to happen. We put the numbers in and something was spat out. Is there actually going to be a suggestion today?
I don't understand how you would have assurances when you do not have access to the proprietary algorithm.
I just would assume that you wouldn't pull that nonsense on back-to-back days. Like yesterday, you did not have a suggestion. That just seems outrageous.
Nonsense. I can't believe you're calling this nonsense.
I would have protested as all. I mean, it's just a suggestion. You can't just give.
There's no tier. If there's no tier 1 level play, I cannot, in good faith, give out a pick. The algorithm has to spit out tier 1 play, not tier 2, not tier 3 type play, tier 1, and it didn't have one today. There is one now. He's borderline. But I'm still gonna give it to you. It's tier 1, so at least it meets the criteria.
Mabs in chat said somebody drafted Cooper in round 11 of best ball. Okay, I mean,
weird.
I don't get it.
11's a bit much, but if you're grabbing him like in the last round of the drafts, I'm sure that's probably a damn good investment, all things considered. Yes, Mardon. Well, I mean, you know what you're getting in the last round of best balls? Do you know the types of players you're getting? Like
I know.
You're getting like nothing. Like you're getting.
I just think that he has no upside. Is kind of like what could he really be? Maybe I'm wrong, but
that's my point. Is the upside compared to the guys you're getting is probably. What if he ends up coming in and being like the second best wide receiver on that team?
Well, he might be because after Myers there isn't much. There's a couple rookies.
And what if Myers does get traded? So like there is a lot more upside than taking who's the 3rd string running back for Philly or whatever, something like that. So I don't know. Yes, Mardon
Dillon, I think, is the
Mardon
for Philadelphia.
Another bust. Man, he was so good in college, but you could tell he wasn't going to be
great
a good
calves.
pro.
Great calves.
No thighs. This is the thigh guy.
It was the thighs. Guy. Yeah.
But Jordan is back today.
Yeah, get excited.
Hopefully he's healthy. So yeah, we got that going on. Who wins the Natty this year? Derek, that's a good one, man. I think probably. I don't know. I have to wait on that pick for a minute.
You got any futures for me, Chop, for college football? Anything you like? Have you looked at it?
Yeah, a little bit. But what do you mean by future? Like the national champion is just so tough to call.
To win the ACC, I don't know. Any take you have if it's live. You invested anywhere just yet, or still kind of
my investment went into a team win total for Houston. That's where my investment went into.
Over?
Yes. They're gonna be I mean, just such a good bet. They're a better team this year. They've got a good quarterback. They've got a much better offense. The thing is, Dean, they're being handed 2 wins right off the bat these first 2 weeks. Teams that shouldn't be on the field with them. So they're giving you 2 wins right off the bat. I only need like 5.5 total. Man, it seems like a good investment. So that's
Well, they're
where
going to lose the UCF, right?
probably not. UCF. Well, I
No,
mean, that's end of the
probably
year.
not.
UCF is they'd have to really
I don't think we're
they'd
very
have to
good.
meet big expectations to be a solid team this year, and I don't think they're you know it's a rebuild for UCF, and that's fine. But yeah, I think that's one that they could they can win several others. So yeah, I don't know. That's where I'm at. But I'll take a look at it, Dean. I don't know. Some of this stuff is totally up for grabs, though, man. I don't know what to think of Georgia this year. I don't know what to think of Bama. Everybody's changing quarterbacks. Texas is everybody's like hot ticket item, but
Manning.
low down, man. We don't know what Arch Manning is. Like, I don't know, man. He might not be that great. Like, we'll
And we're
see.
still kind of figuring out what the NIL world is, right? Like it's still kind of figuring how those pieces maneuvering all around and how that's is there more parity? I imagine there is, but I don't know. By the way, I see JD in chat. Now, forgive me, I don't really follow college football very well, but he said my favorite future is West Virginia over 5.5 wins under Rich Rod. Rich Rodriguez still coaches West Virginia, or he left and came back? I thought this guy was gone.
He was gone for probably got to be a good 10 years since the old Pat White, Steve Slayton days, and he went all around. He was
former Dolphin.
He was all around the whole college scene, and now, yeah, this year he's back. So he's back, man. He's returned. I don't know about that, buddy. You
did not know that.
Keep the West Virginia futures in your pants a little bit. That one might not pay off. I don't know, man. We'll see.
Didn't they have the guy with the hair that was their coach there for a while? Was that West Virginia?
No, that's Oklahoma State. That's Gundy, right? You're talking about Gundy.
Okay, the guy with the hair is he looked like he was like Kingpin, Woody Harrelson.
The mullet.
I'm not sure exactly who I'm thinking of.
But, you're thinking of Dana Holgerson for West Virginia.
That's who I'm thinking of. Yeah.
He's the offensive coordinator for Nebraska now.
Okay. Yeah. Again, this is not my wheelhouse. All right. We'll talk baseball. Let's the chat's on top of it as well. I remember that guy, and on a particular windy day, he would be spectacular as far as the coach shots on the sideline. Okay. It's a 12-gamer, kind of a big boy slate. I'm in the big boy contest tonight, Chop. The $1 million contest on DK. I'm not sure if it's sold out or not. I had a ticket. I want a ticket. I'm not going to buy a ticket. It's like over $3K for it, but we got a shot. We got a shot at $1 million tonight, chipping a chair. So we're going to be shooting for that. Very, very clear, tier as far as pitching, at least up top. It's all about your Astros tonight, right? The return of Yordan Alvarez, who's too cheap on DK at 4.5, assuming he is what he is, like standard. If this is regular Yordan Alvarez, and he's way too cheap on FanDuel, where he's 3K. He's 3K on FanDuel, which is way, way too cheap. And then Hunter Brown. Hunter Brown is the best pitcher on this slate. I don't really think you can debate that. If you want to debate that, by all means, you can have that conversation. But, third highest Ks as far as K percentage in the slate, 29.3%. When it comes to Sierra, he's got one of the lowest Sierras. I think he has the lowest ERA. Let's see, my stuff just kind of shut down on me. But, yeah, and he's facing the Rockies. I guess I kind of buried the lead. The Rockies, the worst team on the road in all of baseball by many metrics. Second lowest Sierra. Manaya's got the lowest Sierra. I stand corrected, but 2.36 as far as the ERA. Yesterday, we had 4 or 5 pitchers in contention in the conversation. I think Hunter Brown is in his own tier. Ownership's going to reflect that. I'm just going to play him. I don't really care what the ownership is. It's probably going to be in the stuff I play, the single entry stuff or the smaller contest. 40% on DK, 30-40% on FanDuel. I imagine we have projections right now. Just 33% on Brown. That's for large field, and I still think that's probably too low. That's just my opinion. And there's other guys in the conversation. Luzardo, not really a great matchup here against the Mets, but he's shown some upside. Manaya, not the best matchup against Philly, but, from the left side, their 2 best hitters are lefties, so maybe you can make that work in a good ballpark as well in New York. And Kikuchi against Texas, assuming he keeps the ball in the ballpark, he should be fine-ish. And then Dylan Cease, man, I don't love Cease tonight, and he's getting some ownership. I don't really love the mid-tier stuff either. I'm doing my, you got to rank your 8 favorite pitchers, Chop. We're doing the rankings, and I had a hard time ranking 8 favorite pitchers. It fell off really, really quickly for me. I'm curious your thoughts as far as you want to give me the overview. Give me the overview by all means, but your pitching thoughts. and I did see what you wrote up in the expert survey, so I imagine you're with me unless something's changed. You just play Hunter Brown, right? I'm just playing Hunter Brown, and I'm done with it. Well, I'm halfway done with it on DK. You got to roster 2 pitchers there. What is your general overview on the slate? And then feel free to bleed into pitching.
Yep. Just lock one guy in. You got to lock Hunter Brown in. I don't see why not. Like yesterday we did the show, and it was Tariq Skubal, and you liked him a lot. And I was like, I don't know, man. I could poke some holes in him. He's a great pitcher, but I could poke some holes in this. Today, Hunter Brown, I cannot poke no holes in. Like, he's just a good pitcher, a really good pitcher with the strikeout upside against a lineup that is can be strikeout prone, and he gets them out of Coors Field, gets them into Houston. So everything's pointing in that direction. I'm just locking him in. Like you said, I don't care about ownership. So there's that. And then we got to figure out SP2, and I think the hitting is just wide open. Like, there's about 8 or 9 teams with a team total in the same like vicinity, and that's all you need. And so there's all kinds of. What's that? Is you doing the keyboard, Dean?
No, it's raining here.
Oh man, that's heavy duty rain. I like that. That's rain's good, man. Rain's good for the soul. Listen to the raindrops.
It always seems to rain right around this time, but
it's good stuff, man. Everybody likes the rain. You ought to put your phone out there and record it. You could turn that into an app and make some money, because that's like the peaceful raindrops.
I think that's already been done. I feel like that's already.
But you get
somebody beat me to it.
You're the real deal. You're organic rain. They just create that stuff in a studio.
AI rain. People buying out that AI rain. This is legit rain. Is what you're saying?
Yeah. There's all kinds of offense. You can figure out a way to get Hunter on there pretty easy, and then an SP2 on DraftKings, and we'll talk about the tiers in a little bit. But it's really is wide open, as is completely reflected in my rankings today on that board.
Yeah, like I said, I think there's 5 or 6 teams that have team totals above 5. Roth again was talking about how the weather's not particularly great, just generally, except for nothing's changed for Detroit and the Athletics, right? The Sacramento ballpark, it's a great environment. It's going to be in the 80s, and the wind's blowing out. So, like, just by comparison, it's better. It's better just because it's staying the same. In most other places, it's kind of downgraded. Can I go on a rant, by the way, about the Skubal thing last night? I don't know if you watched the game. He gave up a grand slam.
Okay.
I don't understand. I know, like, I typically am on top of how this official scoring stuff works. There was an error, a very clear error in the the last thing he pitched. A ground ball hit to the third baseman or the shortstop. They botched it, and they called it an error. He ended up striking out 2 guys. The bases are loaded, so there's 2 outs. So anything after the error with 2 outs shouldn't be an earned run. And I think they still counted for earned runs. Unless I didn't circle back if that was corrected. Somebody let me know, but like that didn't make any sense to me.
I saw somebody say that they changed some runs to unearned runs, so maybe they changed it for you. But
maybe they changed it. Okay,
maybe they changed it, but I don't know if you know how that works, Dean. But the errors, once there's 2 outs.
Everything after is all.
If that error would have been a third out, then it should have been.
Okay, so
but
multiple people are saying in chat it was corrected. Okay, so Ricky's saying it was corrected. Almost human. Derek. Okay, so I saw like 5 unearned runs, and I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. This has long been the story. Once you get the second out, everything after that, and again, I apologize for the rain. It's picking up here. So so his night wasn't as bad as on paper. I think he actually had a really good night, 12 strikeouts with 1 earned run, if that's what he finished with. But of course, the Athletics walked off with that grand slam, and even Kurtz, of course, stepped off the bench to bang out a homer as well. We'll talk about some SP2s. They're talking about it here in chat as some potential pivots, and frankly, there's nobody I necessarily love. I'm open to like 4 or 5 or 6 other options, I suppose, and maybe I'm just going to build my offense and see where I land. But I don't know who's going to be in my main team just yet, which is a little bit unnerving. But maybe you can sell me on somebody as well, Chop. We'll see how that goes down. But
you gonna get sold?
Oh, really? You have a strong sales pitch?
I don't know how strong my pitch is.
Well,
I'm not a salesman. I am not a salesman by nature. No.
I can see you being a good salesman.
I'm a good teacher.
You come off authentic. I think that's important.
I'm a good teacher. I don't know. Well, salesman in terms of the guys who like you when you think about a salesman. That I'm not. I don't like being pushy like that. But are we talking about pitching now? You ready? You ready to rock and roll on pitching?
Go for it. Yeah, I'm trying to manage my the rain over here because it sounds like you're not enjoying. And the chat is hearing it as well. So
I'll do the best I can to power through. Chad, the rain's good for you. Relax. We got Hunter Brown, lock and load. So the only question becomes who are you going to plug into that second spot on DraftKings? And there's some options here. You say you didn't like Dylan Cease as much, and by the way, that's another one that really was kind of so bizarre last night. How we sat here and talked all show about Seattle and the ballpark, and it never gets offense. And then you tune in, and before the third inning, there's like 6 home runs in that game. It's just off the charts. But I don't expect that to happen again. Part of the reason Seattle got there was because the guy that got started against them was probably just not a really good pitcher. We kind of knew that, but we let the whole park thing override us. But Cease is good enough to where in this ballpark he should be able to keep it in the yard, I would hope. So I think he's okay. Not my favorite guy. Kikuchi's on the he's in the conversation at 8,300. Texas not a particularly good offensive team. He's got strikeout ability. He's there. Speaking of bad offenses, especially at home, San Fran is putrid. Like the numbers this year for this particular lineup are terrible. Now the history of them is a little bit better. Guys like Devers and some of these other guys, they're better. Their history, but this year they've been bad. So that puts Matt Boyd in play, I believe, squarely in play in San Francisco. But Dean, in this category, and as far as SP2 and all this, price range, one guy to me jumps out to me, and it was not till last minute, right before the show, when I got the Minnesota lineup. I was like, boom! I think Chris Bassett is squarely in play as my favorite SP2. Looking at what happened with the Minnesota lineup, so that's the route I'm taking. I think is Bassett as my favorite guy in that range, and probably my favorite guy, price per dollar after Hunter Brown.
Were you hearing noise that whole time for me? Because I was on mute. Is this coming from somewhere else? That noise?
No.
Okay.
You're good.
The chat's throwing me off here. They're still talking about noise, and I think they're trying to rattle me. They're trying to throw me off here a little bit. But I just wanted to make sure. Because it's not that loud, the rain, but just wanted to make sure that there wasn't something else going on noise-wise. It's weird you mentioned Bassett because I was thinking about Minnesota lefties once again. Like I went to them last night, and at least one guy, Wallner, got me there. Like he double-donged, and that was good enough, right? The rest of the pieces weren't spectacular.
Can you believe that, Dean?
I can, because Max Scherzer is horrific against lefties. And I'll tell you what I couldn't believe. If you watch that game, before Matt Wallner's double dong, there was 3 balls that died right in the warning track, all from the lefties. And I was, I'm not normally like a big tilt guy, but 3 times it happened. And then, I think a couple of them were barrels. And finally got to Max. And Bassett's not as bad against lefties as Max is, but he's not great. Almost a 200 ISO and a 362 WOBA. So I think I'm more likely, to play some of this Minnesota lefty stuff again. And they're cheap. They're cheap. That Larnach's cheap. Oh, you mentioned Buxton's not in that lineup for Milwaukee.
Yeah,
Minnesota.
There's a couple guys in there that were supposed to be in there that didn't make it. But speaking of
backup catcher,
Wallner, my last spot on DraftKings yesterday, Dean.
You took Larnach.
Yes. They projected the exact same, projection, everything, and it was just like, well, Larnach's got just maybe a slightly better weighted on base. Let's go that route. Why not? Like that's the only thing I can think of to break this tie. They're both the same guy here, basically.
Wallner's got much more power. 270 ISO, Larnach 188 ISO. That's how I broke it.
I played
Larnach too, to be fair.
So yeah, that costed about roughly 30 points, and that's enough to cash or not cash at all. So that sucked. But yeah, I don't know. Larnach, Lee, Wallner batting for it. Julian stinks. I mean, Outman's terrible. Royce Lewis, I don't know what happened to him.
They're so cheap, though.
Gasper and Martin. But they're cheap for a reason.
Gasper and Martin stink. I agree with you on that.
I mean, I think there's Julian's not good. He's at the very best, he's a little flip hitter. He's like a midget Luis Ariz. He has no pop at all. So I don't know. I think there's spots in this lineup, man. He can just.
He's shorter than Luis Ariz. Are you sure?
No. I say it like talent wise, midget talent wise, not height wise. I'm sure he's taller.
He's a punch and Judy hitter that's not as successful at being a punch and Judy hitter. Is
yes,
that what you're
saying? With not as good of an eye for sure. So like, I don't know. I like Bassett, man. Nice and cheap. I just sorry, negative, buddy. It's little person, Dean. We're not supposed to say
M-word.
M-word.
Be respectful.
Crazy, man. Crazy. Can't say anything these days.
That's
good thing they didn't have cell phones back in my day.
I have follow-up questions, but I'm just going to move on. I'm going to power run through. You know what? I'm going to seamlessly segue. Let's go ahead and drop clue number 2 for today's Television Tuesday. A little bit behind on time. Space was the first clue. Space. And the second clue is moon. So space and moon. The guesses so far, Parking Wars. It's not Doctor Who. It's not the original Star Trek. You know what? It's none of the Star Treks. Also, Chop, you haven't participated just yet, unless I missed it. I don't know if you're playing today or not. It is not the Outer Limits.
I can't do nothing with space. I gotta get
what about moon? Space and moon.
I know you're trying to throw me off, but you're thinking like
I would never. Why would I do that?
I mean, so I'm not even now. I have to recalibrate and separate the two clues because space and moon are trying to throw us off, guys. It's trying to throw us off. It's not. You got to separate the two clues.
It's not the Honeymooners. It's not the Westworld. More guesses coming in. It's not Silo. Another good show on Apple, by the way. It's not ALF, Alien Life Form, or Space for All Mankind. But a lot of guesses coming on through, Chop, and feel free to get yours in our personal chat. Again, running down the ownership stuff as far as the pitching options. I really wish I was more committal when it comes to the SB2. But somebody was asking, by the way, FanDuel specific. Manaea's really cheap over there. And ownership's reflecting it, right? Let me go ahead and pull that up. Hunter Brown is the most popular pitcher on FanDuel, 25% at least. Manaea's 7.2. It's tough for him to get the QS, what you want. You want that QS on FanDuel, because it's hard for him to get to 6 innings sometimes. He tends to labor a little bit. And again, not necessarily an amazing matchup against Philly, but it is, from the left side against two of Philly's, their best hitters in Harper and Schwarber. Kikuchi looks pretty decent. He's a little pricey on FanDuel. 9.6 just feels too expensive. Like Kikuchi's 9.6, and yesterday we saw Tarek Skubal was like 10.8. You can't tell me that's the difference between those two pitchers. Like, come on. There's got to be some more wiggle room between those, between the two of those. You mentioned Bassett. He's 9.2 on FanDuel. 9.2 for Bassett. I prefer shopping up for Bassett on DK if I'm going to play him in one of the two spots. Is there anybody else you're considering? Anybody else in the bucket? I know you're probably not running, 50 lineups or 20 lineups. You got your one main, and you're pretty much settled. Mackenzie Gore has had some up and downs this year. I don't know if I want to pick on the Yankees. This is kind of where I'm at. Luis Heel on the other side. We've seen him flash K ability, in years past. Not so much this year. The walks are bad at 15%, and the Ks aren't great at 20%.
I mean, so the guys I mentioned, Dean, those are the main culprits here tonight. And you mentioned a couple other guys, and I think that, a guy like Manaea, you keep in the pool. You can keep Luzardo in the pool. Don't want to pick on the Mets, though. You can keep Luis Heel in the pool. Don't really like his, output this year so far. Just hasn't looked like he did at the beginning of last year. You can keep Castillo in the pool if you want to. I don't want to pick on the Padres and the lack of strikeouts you're going to get probably. I think you could keep Verlander in the pool. He's turned it around lately. It's a tough matchup, but it's a cavernous ballpark, and he's looked better lately. The one guy, though, that I highlighted more than those other guys, Dean, and it's strictly a leverage play. There are going to be a lot of ownership on Oakland or at the Athletics.
Charlie Morton.
There's going to be a lot of ownership on the Athletics. Charlie Morton, since that first month and a half of the year where he was not good, has really turned it around. And I don't get the Athletic ownership tonight. Small ballpark, but this guy's a good pitcher. Yeah, I think he still has a lot left in the tank. Since the trade deadline, he's come over. He's put up a couple of fantastic starts. He started to turn around in Baltimore before he was even traded. So that's a leverage play, Dean. That's what the kids would call a leverage play if you wanted to go that route in large field tournaments. Large field tournaments, you get if you can get a good pitcher like Charlie, if you get a good pitcher score out of Charlie Martin, that means you're not getting a good score out of all those athletic stacks that are going to be dead. And Nick Kurtz is the number one guy on the survey this morning. Everybody's going to play Nick Kurtz, that kind of a thing. Maybe you get two birds with one stone here. But that's just a large field. I'm not playing him because I'm not playing that kind of stuff, but it is what it is.
Yeah, he was dreadful to start the season. People were assuming, myself included, it's just over for him. He's over 40, 41, and he's actually older now than he was in the beginning of the season. So, he's been better as the season has progressed. 25.4% as far as the Ks in the last 30 days. Still not great when it comes to ISO and WOBA last 30 days, 196 ISO, over a 300 WOBA. But yeah, that's one of those deals where you have to, like you said, you have to make a bunch of lineups. I can't do it. I think just like not playing the Athletics is kind of a fade to some degree. But I hear you. Just because we're at kind of a scramble for SP2, and it can be, but Mizrachi, we can't trust the pitch count, right? I guess we should just X him out. We should have mentioned, acknowledge his presence. We're expecting 77 pitches as a median projection, which is just, if that's what it is, that's just not enough, right? Is that fair? Not enough, and we can't do it?
Yeah, we'll see.
That is where I am at. Just not to. I just can't trust them to let him pitch long enough. We'll see if they got anything different when it comes to ownership. Cease 23%, Kikuchi 21%. This is DK. Luzardo at 15%. It was good skill set. Just don't love the matchup. And Manai on the other side at 14%. You mentioned Bassett, 14%. It's going to be I just think people are going to play Brown with a variety of these 6 or 7 guys just kind of rotate through, and just don't feel amazing about any of them. I think Stevie was liked Kershaw this morning, if I'm not mistaken, in the survey. Okay, maybe. I'm not going to say he's wrong. Probably not the guy for me, but I don't have a ton of confidence in any of these SP2 options. Did we get any winners, by the way? Let's see. It's not the Twilight Zone or the Cosmos or Lost in Space or Love, Death, and Robots or Full House or Punky Brewster or Semi-Pro, which is not a TV show, or Apollo 13, which is also not a TV show. I'm not sure if they're just having fun and intentionally guessing movies, but all right. We shall move along. Do you want a third clue, Chop? It's not The Office. You guessed The Office. It's not The Office. Do you want a third
Why
clue?
not? Why not a third clue? Why not?
Why would it be The Office? Why'd you say The Office? Think with your thought process.
Office Space,
Oh,
and
okay.
and then there was the mooning when they mooned in the Office, the mooning show. No, where he moons.
What? The mooning show?
He moons somebody. Somebody gets mooned. No,
I don't think there's any mooning in The Office.
maybe not. I don't know. I don't watch it. I've never seen it.
You've never seen the. You spoke so confidently.
I've seen certain episodes.
Moon.
I've seen certain episodes, but
Chop, you gotta.
And I haven't sat down and watched it all the way through. Speaking of shows, Dean, best show on TV has got to be Peacemaker, man. Just got to be Peacemaker.
I haven't started the new season, no spoilers, but I thoroughly enjoyed the first season.
Yeah,
and it's not my wheelhouse, but it was just a blast. And who's got more personality than that John Cena? He's great.
He's a good actor for having been a wrestler.
Don't even give him that. You don't. Why does he need that qualifier? He's just good.
No, he needs that qualifier.
Oh, come on.
Because, for example, we compare him to The Rock. The Rock doesn't have many. Rock's
they
not.
Both have charisma.
Charisma's not acting though, and The Rock
really
is
charming.
You know who the best wrestler actor is though? Is Dave Bautista.
You're gonna say Batista.
For sure. He pulls it all off. He can do it all. He does it all, man.
It wasn't Hogan? Did you see No Holds Barred? Or
R.I.P. Hulkster, man. R.I.P. Hulkster.
No Holds Barred was one of the worst movies I ever saw in my life. All right. We shall move along. The third clue is Doctor. It is Space, Moon, and Doctor. And you know what? You're not going to like this, Chop. We got a winner on 3. Oh, and you just guessed it as I said winner. Look at you. You nailed it. I'll give it to you because you're basically typing in LBC in chat. Shout out to you. You guessed today's Television Tuesday. It'll all make sense soon enough. You'll get yourself a week free of RGA Premium, or if you want, you can get scores and odds as well. Your preference, or not as well, not in addition to. It's your choice, dealer's choice. And producer Steve will be sliding in and asking you in just a second. Anything else you want to say as far as pitchers, or shall we talk about today's stacks?
That's all I got for pitchers.
Okay, so Chop, I'm not sure if you're aware, today is National Dog Day. Did you know today's National Dog Day? I'm not sure how you celebrate.
Didn't know, but that's very intriguing.
Shout out to all the dogs. So I power ranked since it's Television Tuesday, and it'll all make sense why I chose what I chose as well soon enough. But since it's Television Tuesday, I power ranked TV movie dogs. Specific, not like brands, not like, German Shepherd. I'm talking about the actual name. So, like, do you have like a particular favorite? Are you a big like Hooch guy from Turner of Hooch fame? You like Beethoven? You like Toto? Do you have like a favorite dog that has appeared in Baxter from Anchorman? I'll never forgive Jack Black for what he did. Do you have a preference, a top dog for you? Who comes to mind?
Not a lot, Dean. Maybe the dog from John Wick.
Yeah, he doesn't have a name. I don't think he has a name. You're talking about the one that not the one that, spoiler, died in the beginning, the one that sticks around later. Yeah,
no, I was talking about the one that got deceased in the beginning. But I don't know, man. This is a good one. Dogs from movies or TV shows. Dogs from movies or TV shows.
Yeah,
I consider just TV shows.
I stuck to actual dogs.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know, man. That's a good one, dude. It's interesting.
The chat's on top of it. The chat knows. Negative creep. Of course. Air Bud. How does Air Bud not get the one spot? Multi-sport athlete. Air Bud. Buddy. But we know him Buddy better as Air Bud. World Pup. Spectacular soccer player. 7th inning fetch. Incredible at baseball. Just multi-sport athlete. They are remaking Air Bud as well. Get excited about that. So Air Bud is number 1 on the board, and I think number 5 is going to make a lot of sense too. I'm not sure if you've seen it before, if you're aware of it. Have you heard of Cujo? Cujo is in the 5 hole, the Stephen King book where it's like a killing dog, and I'd prefer to pet the dog than get killed by the dog. So Cujo lands in the 5 hole, but there's a lot of options out there. Brandy from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I haven't seen it yet, but the new Superman movie, apparently Crypto is the dog that is all the rage in the new Superman movie. I've not seen it, but I couldn't, in good faith, put it on the board but I'm told he does save some people. Spoiler alert. But Air Bud in the 1 hole, Chop. Einstein, you know where Einstein's from, right, Chop? Don't disappoint me. Where's Einstein from?
I don't know, Dean.
Back to the Future, really?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's Doc's dog. His name Einstein.
The original Back to the Future?
Yeah. He's in all 3 of them. Yeah, Einstein's in all 3.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I got another one for you, Dean, too.
I got Santa's Little Help. Oh, go ahead.
No, you keep going on your list. I'm just perusing something, and something caught my
eye. Santa's Little Helper, the dog from The Simpsons, right there in the middle. Scooby-Doo is 4. Scooby-Doo is like, dogs are supposed to like be protective. Scooby wouldn't save you. Scooby is always scared. He's very needy. Always needs a snack. Not the best dog. Not the best dog. So I put Scooby-Doo in the 4 spot. And again, the aforementioned Cujo in the 5 hole. What did you have?
Just watching, looking at some of the stuff online. The one that jumped out to me, Dean, was Samantha from I Am Legend, the dog that saved Will Smith, the man's best friend. Like that's got to be up there for me. What about Beethoven from Beethoven?
Yeah, beautiful dog, Saint Bernard, right? Just an awesome dog. Others receiving votes. It received some votes. I saw people in the chat talk about Hercules from Sandlot. Oh, I don't love the Sandlot as much as everybody else does.
What?
Yeah, it's overrated. It's not great.
Ooh, buddy.
Yeah.
That's tough. What about
Turner, Hooch from Turner and Hooch fame? Remember Hooch? He slobbered a lot.
Yeah. What about I can't believe you have no love for the original Old Yeller.
Yeah, I mean, never seen it. I heard about it.
Never seen it?
Was he the one you could talk to? Who was not Lassie or Old Yeller? Who was the one that you could say, hey, grandma's in the woods, go get her? Who was that?
Was that Lassie?
That might have been Lassie. Yeah,
Old Yeller's just the one who, no spoilers, but got shot.
Vince, you whispered it. We still heard you. Vincent from Lost. It's another good one there in the chat. So a lot of choices, a lot of good dogs out there. But Cujo, definitely not a good dog, not a good boy. Underdog did not make the list either. Yeah, it's only 5. We can only have so many on the list. Okay, let's scoot along. Let's throw some teams and some tiers. The first game we're talking about, Luis Heel versus Mackenzie Gore, 9 total. The Yankees are one of the 5 or 6 teams that do have a team total above 5. It is going to be in the 70s. Wind is blowing out for what it's worth. Anything different as far as the Yankees today? Because the lefty's starting, despite the fact that Gore is, reverse splitsy. Ben Rice is not drawing the start. Jazz is in there. Grisham is down to the 5 hole, typically leads off left on left, but I guess they're afraid of the lefty, despite the fact Gore kind of reverse splits historically. Where do you want to throw Washington and New York?
Yeah, so I'm going to start off with Washington here, Dean, and I'm going to put them in tier 3, mainly just because, they're not a good offense, but Luis Heel sometimes just absolutely can't throw strikes, and that's good for Stacks, terrible for him. So just out of the fact that if he goes out there and has one of those types of games, Washington could blow up here. So I'll put them in tier 3, even though I don't love the offense. I don't love the matchup, but Heel's one of those kind of guys. New York, Dean, this is the one that's going to cause controversy. They're a popular team tonight, Dean. They got a big team total. People are going to like they love at least one off some Judge or something like that. And I like some of the pieces in the lineup, but I'm putting them in tier 4 based on their ownership. Combined with Mackenzie Gore is not a bad pitcher at all, is not getting respected in this game at all with that Vegas team total. And he strikes guys out, doesn't walk a lot of guys. Like, he's not a big walk guy. So there's a lot of good things about his game, and the Yankees are getting too much ownership for that. And so I'm going to put them in tier 4. This is not me saying the Yankees are only going to score 3 runs, so I'm going to put them in tier 4. This is me saying the ownership is too high on them compared to what I think the output could be. So they're going to go in tier 4, Scooby-Doo, if you will.
I think I'm going to be under on the Yankees as well. I'm with you as far as that take, and it's kind of uncomfortable. I'm probably going to be under on the Yankees and the Dodgers, like two of the, the teams that are absolutely loaded. That's just the way it is today. Minnesota and Toronto, man, Chop. I was so tilted when Dalton Varsho. Can I just go on a little Dalton Varsho rant? We talked about the other day. Bailey Ober is one of the, is really, really vulnerable versus lefty power, pretty dramatic splits. Dalton Varsho, amongst hitters that have 140 at-bats or more versus righties this season, has the biggest ISO in all of baseball against righties. I'll repeat that. Better than Kurtz, better than Ohtani, better than anybody. To my knowledge, he's not hurt. Why is he not playing today? I'm so confused. He was the guy I wrote up originally today in the survey. I was very much on the Blue Jays. I still like the Blue Jays, but it's a big hit for me. I don't understand it, why Varsho would not be. He's got 15 home runs this year, all 15 against righties. Again, the biggest ISO in baseball for those that have the same at-bats versus righties or more. Why is he not playing? And Toronto's playing for something. It's very strange. Okay. I still like Barger a lot, and I like Toronto as is, but just annoyed. I moved off him a little bit, and he was going to be like my big tournament piece, I guess. I would have built a team around him, I think. But now we're kind of in scramble mode. You talked about liking Bassett a little bit. I still think Minnesota lefties are in play just because they're cheap enough. So they're in my pool. I'm curious where you're putting the Twins and the Blue Jays.
Twins are going in Cujo. I just don't like them tonight. I think it's a little bit of a weaker lineup, and I like the starting pitching here. And I don't mind the bullpen either. I think the bullpen has some decent pieces. So they're going in tier 5. Toronto against Bailey Ober. Yeah, man, I like this matchup a lot. That's a tier 1 team for me. First tier 1 of the day. I'm going in tier 1 for Toronto, and I like everything about this matchup. I'm with you on the VAR show. More on him later, but I'll say this much, Dean. Minnesota being in tier 5 with a good starting pitcher for Toronto means that, boom, we could see our chopper knocker blocker already.
What? Let's do it.
Just do it. Chopper knocker blocker coming out already, Dean. It's for Toronto because I got Minnesota in tier 5, so I think that we can hold it down. Dean, I got to go. I don't think we've ever had a Toronto reliever on the show. So this is a first. So might as well break it out and go with their closer. Go with their closer, Jeff Hoffman, Dean. I'm going to go with 28 saves this year. Really solid xFIP, solid numbers. Everything about him solid. What I really wanted, so he's got a 3-pitch repertoire, Dean. The 4-seamer, he's got the slider and the splitter, right? It all works good, right? Here's what's super interesting. First of all, he's a former starter, Dean. Remember, we've said this before. Former starters make the best reliever. He's a former starter. I wanted to highlight him, Dean, because I think his story is the blueprint for a lot of guys. He's been around since 2016. He was a Colorado guy, Colorado Rockies. He's been around forever, Dean. He drifted in obscurity there as a bad pitcher for about 7 years, Dean. 2023, you know what happened? I'm going to tell you what happened because that's what I'm here for, Dean. He found the split finger, okay? And it changed his entire career, went to the bullpen, found the split finger. 7 seasons, he drifted around in the Major League Baseball with a 5.15 xFIP, striking out 20% of the guys he faced. Found the split finger in 2023. The xFIP over the last two years is 3 on the dot. xFIP 3, striking out 34% of the guys. That's all it takes sometimes. It's the great story, Dean, of just, perseverance, man. Keep tweaking, keep finding something, and that's how you can hit the jackpot one day.
All right. Moving along from Minnesota and Toronto.
Minnesota. Enthused. I did all that work, and you just brush it off.
I like it. I agree. If I remember correctly, wasn't there like a big thing with him? He signed in the offseason, and his previous team didn't keep him, and wasn't there an issue with his medicals in the offseason? I feel like I was trying to figure that out because I don't follow this stuff as much, individual bullpen pieces. I know some of them obviously, but I think there was something with Hoffman. People were afraid to sign him. Does this sound familiar? And Toronto took a chance, but some people were speculating that he might have been damaged goods, and I guess he's not.
Yeah, for sure. Sounds familiar. A lot of the former starters that get driven to the bullpen are injury related. So, and then they just find their way, like Eckersley was. Yeah,
he was. He had that 1 year where he was absolutely amazing. I'm not sure if it was the same. I guess he had a couple years, and then he gave up the homer to Kirk Gibson, and then I guess besides that, he was incredible. But one of the more, one of the most famous home runs in the history of baseball.
Yeah, but there's a lot of people who say that was rigged.
How do you rig? What you're saying? Eckersley gave him a meatball? What are you suggesting?
Yeah, the commish made the call down to the bullpen. Get Dennis in there, Dennis. Serve him a meatball. We need the ratings up. It's the Dodgers.
People are already watching. There's no Netflix.
Big market. I don't know, Dean. People just saying that maybe that
I feel was like you're making this whole thing. That
was a tainted championship for LA back then, along with the bubble in 2020.
That was the only at bat Gibson had in the World Series. That was the only bat, and I think he was in the not even in the dugout. I think he was actually in the locker, just kind of hanging out. But remember the Mets in '86 and they came back. There's a story of some of the Mets were was it Kevin Mitchell? He was drinking. He was hanging out by the locker drinking, and they had him go up there and pinch hitting when they came back in Game 6. Some good stories there. All right, getting nostalgic. Let's scoot along and talk about, speaking of the Mets, it is Shamania taking on Jesus Luzardo, 8.5 total. 2 pretty interesting offenses, but tough matchup, tough ballpark. It is 8.5, which is a little bit higher than this ballpark probably typically sees. 75 is the temp. Wind is blowing out a little bit toward right center. I don't make enough lineups, Chop, and I'm just probably not playing either one of these offenses. I'm hoping that we don't have a early explosion and then get into a bad bullpen situation. I'm hoping the bats are subdued here, but certainly I can see it. Luzardo versus Manaea. Where are you putting Philadelphia and the Mets?
You're hoping we don't get a Seattle-San Diego game from last night.
Yes,
that's what you're hoping. But yeah, I'm with you. Like two good, strong left-handed pitchers, strong like Bull. Two strong left-handed pitchers. I can't put them. Philly's going in tier 5. New York will go one tier higher, just out of respect to producer Steve. New York's in tier 4. Did you get that reference? Did you get that strong like Bull reference, Dean? You didn't even get that.
Strong like Bull. Is that from Major League?
The chat knows.
Do I have to Google this now? Is it a bad idea to Google it now? I feel like I've heard of it before. Now I'm derailing the show. I'm not sure where it's from. Chop, help me out here. What's the?
I don't know, man. I just made it up off the top of my head, Dean.
Okay. We shall move along. Is it Blazing Saddles? Is that what it is? Probably shouldn't be putting too much in that movie, but yeah. All right. Let's scoot along. Shout out Mel Brooks. It is Arizona, Milwaukee. By the way, the fourth clue is scrolling. We're just playing for fun here as far as Television Tuesday. The fourth clue, Chop, it is answer. But you've already nailed it. You already got it. You binked this on 3. We already have a winner as well. Premium has been given out. But, you're still playing for fun. That is the fourth clue. It is answer, space, moon, doctor, and answer. Arizona, Milwaukee, Jacob Mizrachi, The Miz, taking on Brandon Fott. Speaking of Television Tuesday and The Miz is hosting a new American Gladiators. You aware of that? That's happening. They're rebooting that again. Get excited. D-backs versus the Brewers, who are, they score their 7 runs and still everybody's useless because they don't score homers. And I got yelled at about this last night. I think they're like 21st or 22nd in baseball collectively as far as hitting home runs. But sure, I just don't play the Brewers really. And I guess you can. You want to make the argument. But I'm curious where you're putting the D-backs versus the Miz and the Brewers.
Yeah, I've had enough of Milwaukee stacks. Put them in tier 4. They just it's just weird team. Arizona's in tier 5. Definitely don't. I mean, Mizrachi, he might pitch 2 innings, he might pitch 5 innings, but whatever he pitches, he's not going to give up much because he's pretty dang good. So that's a tier 5 team. Milwaukee's in tier 4. I highlighted it yesterday and I still fell for it. I said yesterday this team just, for as good as they are record-wise, they don't hit very well at home for some reason. Like, they just don't rack up a lot of power at home. And sure enough, they just don't rack up a lot of power at home, at least not from the guys you stack in that lineup that night. So they're a tier 4 for me. This is not an offensive. We have not got the offensive games yet. So, yeah, 4 and 5.
Yeah, and not all 7-run outputs are the same. Some teams score 7 runs by hitting 4 homers. Some teams score 7 runs by having no homers. I'll take the team that scores 6 runs and has 4 homers as opposed to the team with 7 runs and no homers. Not to say they can't homer, but
maybe when they get Jackson Churio back, it'll be different.
He's kind of I feel like he hasn't been great this year anyway. Am I wrong in saying that?
I think he's all right. I think he's pretty good.
Kind of a down year, but yeah, I like him long term.
Maybe I'm confusing him. Maybe I'm confusing him with Junior Caminero.
I'm thinking of Jackson Merrill, who's been really dreadful for.
He's had an off year.
He had the concussion thing. Maybe there's some something lingering there. Speaking of terrible and disappointing, well, if you played the Royals last night, did they get goose egg? They might have scored something in the last.
Shut out, bro! Goodness gracious, can you believe that?
I can.
That's what the Royals do. I keep saying every time I come on the show, the Royals stink. The Royals stink. I'm not putting them high, and I put them high because they always seem to have a good matchup. So,
well, they're facing Martin Perez. They're locked in for
unreal.
9.
Just what is the other quote? Just when I think I'm out, they pull me back in.
There you go. Godfather 3.
Martin Perez. Are you kidding me? This guy's still pitching in 2025, and I gotta rank the Royals. I got them in tier 2. What are we gonna do here? I definitely can't put them in tier 1, but I mean Martin Perez, gotta put him at tier 2 at best. I hate him, hate the offense, hate all the pieces to it except for Bobby Witt, but Martin Perez, man, give me a break. And then the White Sox. White Sox have been a better offense than KC pretty much. It's crazy. The White Sox are not bad. They've got some good young hitters, but
some of them are cheap.
Yeah, I don't. So that's why they're going in tier 3. Like earlier in the season, the first 2 months, White Sox were an auto tier 4 or tier 5 team. Now they're creeping up the board here. They're showing a little spunk with some of these young guys. So put them in tier 3 tonight.
Yeah, and long term, like I think Teal can be something long term. Vargas, once upon a time, Vargas was a mega prospect for the Dodgers. Like it wasn't working out. They really couldn't find a spot for him, and when they did, it wasn't great. In a really small sample, like Montgomery's been fantastic this year.
Get me started, Dean.
The Vargas thing?
The constant overranking of the Yankee and the Dodger farm systems, it's, shall I say, like a conspiracy? Like they're constantly ranked in the top of the charts.
You think like Jeff Passan or Mayo?
These guys are top 100 prospects in all of baseball. Anthony Volpe and Jason Dominguez and all these other guys, James Outman, these guys, all, and nobody ever pans out. These guys, both these teams are built basically from free agency because there's a conspiracy there to keep those, and then they trade them, and they're garbage. Come on, man. The guys need to learn. These farm systems stink on those two teams.
I was listening to a former GM talk about how what some teams do is like, how teams rank, of course there's prospectors, like what's the guy today? Mayo, I think it's one of the big ones. Works, I think Baseball America. There's different places, Fangraphs, but like the teams also kind of rank these as our top 40 prospects. And he was talking about how what they will do is they will artificially bump up some of their players so they become more tradable. It's like, well, we want to trade this guy, so let's put him as like number 2, number 3 in our system. So yeah, there's some manipulation going on there. I understand. I mean, you're making some full-fledged allegations, but your point is understood. Kansas City is is hanging out with Einstein in the 2-hole, and then we talk about the White Sox. The White Sox, you put them right there, smack in the middle with Santa's little helper. Okay, next game. It is the Pirates and the Cardinals. Andre Palante versus Mitch Keller. I mean, speaking of terrible offenses, the Pirates are horrendous, but Andre Palante is also pretty gross. I don't know what to do here as far as we didn't talk about him when it comes to pitchers. He's a great ground ball guy. He's got an elite ground ball rate. That's one thing he can do, but he's not getting ground balls. He's not getting strikeouts. He's getting hit hard. But it's the Pirates. The Pirates stink. And then there's the Cardinals, who another team. It just seems like they're constantly underwhelming. Where are you putting Pittsburgh and St. Louis?
We got to pick up the pace, Dean. We got to pick up the pace, but
too many sidebars.
Yeah. Both these teams are going in tier 4 Scooby-Doo. Don't really want to have much. When an offense is just bad, it kind of nullifies some of the matchup stuff. And these pitchers, like you're alluding to, that they're terrible. They're not terrible. They're not good pitchers, but the offenses are bad enough. I don't want any piece of this garbage tonight.
Okay, speaking of terrible, at least terrible of late, it's the Angels and the Rangers. Yusei Kikuchi taking on Patrick Corbin, 8.5 total, kind of a coin toss here. Both are looking at as far as minus 110. So Vegas throwing their arms up here as far as a favorite. So, Chop, last 4 games for Patrick Corbin. Patrick Corbin, he is averaging less DK points per game than you and everybody in chat and me and anybody you can think of, than Snoopy and Air Bud. Last 4 games, he is averaging negative 2.25 fantasy points per. This is DK fantasy points per game. I think at least 2 of them were in the negative. One was barely above 1. When we've talked about Patrick Corbin, who was horrendous for years, finally get out of that contract, and he was okay. He was serviceable, but it feels like, all the cliches, wheels falling off, clock striking midnight, yada, yada. One of my favorite teams tonight is the Angels, because I just think that it's getting off the rails here for Patrick Corbin. Not to steer you, it's your board, but I like the Angels tonight. They're one of my favorites. They might be my key team to build around in the 3K contest tonight.
Well,
what say you?
The thing is, I don't know if Carty's on after this. But he's a math guy, and he'd say regression to the mean. Imagine that. This Cy Corbin wasn't able to keep that up the whole year. Well, we knew that was going to happen. He stinks. Angels are going in tier 2. Probably should be even higher, but I'm going to put them in tier 2 just because I like them. And Texas they stink. Going in tier 4. Kikuchi will strike out probably 10 guys tonight. That's fine. Woo. Yeah, I mean, they might hit a couple solo homers off of him, but they're not going to do a whole lot. Now, RIP to the Texas 2025 season because I think they're officially cooked now. Nady Eovaldi's done for the year. That was their best pitcher by far. Like they're cooked. So couldn't happen to a better team, except for maybe the Dodgers or the Yankees. But they're about third on that list of teams.
Is there a Houston-Texas rivalry? I guess there is, right? I guess you don't like the Rangers.
Yeah. Well, the whole Dallas-Fort Worth area is a little bit of a snobby area anyway.
Fair enough. It doesn't sound like you're terribly broken up with the Rangers season essentially being over. We can pivot right to your favorite team. It's the return of Yordan Alvarez. Yordan Alvarez is back. Monster team total here against Tanner Gordon, 5.5. Huge favorite. Biggest favorite on the board, Hunter Brown, -367. Best pitcher facing the worst offense. The Rockies team total was 2.55. Good Lord. You don't see a team total that low, just like basically ever. I can imagine they're going to be hanging out with Cujo, but you tell me. It's your board. Rockies, Astros.
First off, Hunter Brown, Colorado, easy tier 5. That's a no-brainer. We're putting them in tier 5. Houston, in this matchup, Yordan back. Cheaps, you mentioned it earlier, super cheap on FanDuel, even cheap on DraftKings. Probably a month from now, he's $1,000 more on both sites than what he is tonight. So that puts Houston in tier 1. Looking at it, the only thing I wish Espada would do is bat him in the top 3, not bat him cleanup. But that's neither here nor there. They get him back tonight. He should a rising tide. What is the thing? A rising tide
raises all boats,
something like that. So Yordan being in the lineup will help everybody. He can't help but to help everybody. So tier 1, Houston, look for some offensive. They were already kind of starting to do some fireworks here the last couple games prior to the day off yesterday. So I got a feeling we're going to see some more fireworks from the Houston offense.
Houston joins Toronto in the Air Bud tier. San Diego, Seattle, 8 total. Dylan Cease, Luis Castillo. Another one's kind of a coin toss here. We saw a big dumper get to 50 last night. Shout out to Cal Raleigh. You said that the Seattle team, both these teams put some runs on the board early last night. No San Diego lineup just yet, but no reason to think that their regulars will not be in there. Padres, Mariners, what do you got?
Well, don't like the offenses here. They're both of them, Seattle and San Diego, both going in tier 4 Scooby-Doo. Not really impressed with. It's a big ballpark. I think these starting pitchers are much better than last night's starting pitchers. I just don't think it gets out of hand like that. And with the extra time I'm going to save on this game, Dean, I want to give a little shout out and a little congratulations to Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift for tying the knot or getting engaged today. Good for them.
I almost went with celebrity couples, and then I started getting to an area where
that would have been a good one.
Well, I was thinking about it, and I was like, well, then there's like some kind of allegations here, and I don't want to get in the whole mess of some of the couples. And I'm just like, I just avoided it, and I went ahead with the dogs, but much safer territory. But yeah, and I didn't really have any my favorite celebrity power couple. Like I'm not somebody that obsesses over that stuff. So I'm sure I can think of something. But
who would you put in? Who would you put in tier 5?
Well, I mean, the Johnny Depp situation didn't end well.
Oh,
Kanye and Kim, I guess I think those are probably possible.
I say there's a case to be made for tier 5 Jennifer Lopez and whoever she married, because everybody seems to end up running for the hills after that.
Ben Affleck, they were together a couple times, right? I believe, but I don't like to get in. I don't really care about these things, But and I don't even know who my favorite would be. I was thinking about that for a second, and I'm like, and it was it's somebody that's not even that popular. So I was like, we'll move on. It's not worth delving into. I thought it was a fun idea, and then it just it died pretty quickly. I'm like, I don't really feel strong about anything. We went on the dogs. Okay, We have 3 more games to go. Crunch time coming in about 10 minutes or so. Derek Carty, CEO of the Bat and the Blitz. The Blitz in full effect these days. TastefulTides, Tim Buell, as well as Chief Neurologist Kevin Roth. Going to give a refresh. I'm pretty sure we are clean when it comes to weather. Has anything popped up? Last I saw, we're pretty much green everywhere we are. I'll drop this in chat. Green in New York with winds blowing out. Green in both New York places with winds blowing out. And Roth did give a special write-up to the Athletics as well, just talking about how that's the best environment on the slate. Cubs, Giants, 7.5 total. No Cubs lineup just yet. Giants is out. It's not great. Matthew Boyd, Justin Verlander. Giants, Cubs, what do you got?
Not a lot. San Fran against Matthew Boyd, who's a respectable pitcher. And this is a very, very much a respectable bullpen, at least since the trade deadline. They've gotten their act together. San Fran's at tier 5. Like, I'm not gonna play San Fran. They've kind of mailed in. They punted this season. It's over with for them. They've been an absolute putrid offense. It's since the Rafi Devers trade, but I just don't think that's correlation right there. I just think it was going to happen anyway. But they've been bad. Chicago, the offense is not quite as good when Pete Crow Armstrong isn't putting up Willie Mays type numbers, and that happens. And then Kyle Tucker hurt his hand, and he hasn't been good for a while, although he rebounded. Yeah, he rebounded recently, so maybe they are back. So out of respect to that, I'll put them in tier 3. I don't love the venue, though. But so the Cubs will go in tier 3 for me.
We did get a winner with the 5th clue for Television Tuesday. If you're still playing along, the 5th clue is Eddie. Eddie is the 5th clue, and it ties everything all together. If you know what the TV show happens to be. A show I didn't watch officially, but I was aware. I was kind of aware of this show. I didn't watch this show. It was on for a long, long time. Okay, let's move along. 2 more games to go. It is Detroit and the Athletics, 11 total. Both these teams, a team total above 5, especially Detroit, locked in for 9. Facing one of the worst pitchers on the slate in Osvaldo Vito. Now, the tricky thing with Vito, Chop, is like we don't know how long he's going to pitch for. He's been bad, though, and maybe 3 or 4 innings, depending on if he's pitching well or not pitching well. I was trying to figure out who's coming in after him, and I think it's just going to be – I don't think it's going to be a long man. I think Hogan Harris was a guy that sometimes will be a long man, but he's pitched a little bit of late in smaller spurts. So I don't know. I don't know who it's going to be, but probably not somebody especially good. We know they got rid of Mason Miller. Detroit, Athletics, what do you got?
Yeah. Detroit against a bad pitcher and a marginal bullpen. To be polite, they could be a bad bullpen, but I'll say marginal. Detroit's a tier 1 team. Pop them in tier 1. I was all on them on both sites last night as my primary stack, and that blew up. But you got to go back to the well. This is baseball, man. So they're in a good ballpark. I would expect a little bit more tonight out of them in this matchup. So they're a tier 1. Oakland, man, this is a popular play tonight, and I kind of don't get it against Charlie Morton. I'm putting them in tier 3. I don't understand Vegas. I hate to be against Vegas, but 5.3 implied run total seems a bit high for Charlie Morton. I get the venue and where they're playing and all that, but so I'm gonna put them in tier 3. I don't know what to make of that. Nick Kurtz looks like the most popular guy on the board if you look at the survey and stuff like that. So I'm put them in tier 3, but I'm not a fan, and I don't know how. I don't think I can individually go in there and pick out a single batter against Charlie Morton necessarily on my teams tonight, but we'll see.
Kurtz leading off again. Butler buried despite being having the platoon. It's just been a rough go this as a sophomore season for him in the 7-hole. Sometimes getting pinch hit for when a lefty comes in. Cincinnati, Dodgers, Kershaw, Martinez. This is the last game amongst the 12. Dodgers, the last team to have a team total above 5 against Nick Martinez, Otani, Betts, Freeman, Smith, Teoscar, Pajes, Conforto, Kike, Enrique Hernandez. I feel like we haven't seen him in a while. And Alex Freeland in the 9-hole. Where do you want to put the Reds and the Dodgers to finish the board?
Yeah, so I'll start off with the Reds against Kershaw. There are times Kershaw looks like he still has a little something left and he can still do some things, and he spins that curveball over the plate and they can't hit it. And there are times it looks like he is like hanging on by that little thread to still be a major league pitcher. And I don't know which one we're going to get, but Cincinnati has not been a particularly good offense this year in general. So they're a tier 4 team tonight. I just can't do much with that. So that's tier 4. The Dodgers are the interesting one, Dean. I don't know what the stack ownership is going to look like. Kind of don't even know what the individual latest update ownership is going to look like on their hitters. But I've talked about this quite a bit. At home, they are a different beast. They are so much better at home. I mean, some people accuse them of stuff. I'm not doing that. I'm just saying at home.
You kind of have in previous shows.
Maybe I have. Check the tape. But they're a much better team at home by far. They lead the majors in home runs per game at home. So at least a tier 2 team. Do they get lost in the mix with Detroit and the Yankees and some? Maybe they do. And if they do, and the ownership looks low enough, I could make a case for tier 1. But I'm going to put them in tier 2 because Nick Martinez is average at best, and that's probably being too kind. And so it's just a good team at home. I don't know. I really legit don't know how they do it in a pitcher's ballpark, but they do it. So tier 2.
All right, going to recap the board here in case you missed it. Power ranked. Today is National Dog Day, so shout out to all the dogs. Power ranked dogs from TV shows and movies. Also going to get to Chops Knockers, the BEP suggestion, and we'll explain today's Television Tuesday before crunch time comes in. They're currently warming up in the bullpen, getting some reps in. Number one dog in TV and movies, of course, the multi-star athlete that is Air Bud. 3 teams hanging out with Air Bud. It's Toronto, Houston, and Detroit. Einstein from Back to the Future fame. That's Kansas City, the Angels, and the Dodgers. You got Santa's little helper from The Simpsons right there smack in the middle. It's Washington, the White Sox, the Cubs, and the Athletics. Scooby-Doo, overrated Scooby-Doo. The biggest tier for Chop, tier 4, that is both teams that reside in New York, the Yankees and the Mets. The Brewers, St. Louis, Pittsburgh, Texas, San Diego, Seattle, and Cincinnati. And in the Cujo tier 5, that is Tennessee, Minnesota, Philadelphia, Arizona, Colorado, San Francisco. Today's Television Tuesday. Chop, you were on top of it. The first 2 clues are very clearly defined to make it seem like it was a sci-fi show. Clue number 1, space. Clue number 2, moon. But space was actually in reference to the Space Needle. The Space Needle, which is where this show takes place. Moon, of course, is the name of the lead female character, Daphne Moon. So, yeah, it's not a sci-fi show. Doctor, the lead character in this show, is a doctor. It's Dr. Fraser Crane. Clue number 4 was answer. His job is to answer questions on a radio show. He's a psychiatrist. He answers the phone and he answers the questions. And to tie it all together, his dog's name was Eddie, which is clue number 5. All right, Chopper. And you got that in 3. So shout out to you and shout out to, I don't recall, who, LBC. LBC took it down there in the Discord channel. Got a free week of premium for doing so. All right, Chop. This is what the people want. They're ready for the music. They're ready for the answers. Give them.
I don't know, Dean. I'm listening. I'm vibing, Dean. I'm vibing.
Oh, you're just vibing out. Okay, I wasn't sure what's happening over there. Yeah, you knew I threw it to you. I was pretty sure you knew. Yeah.
Oh, I'm letting the people get a chance to listen to them tunes I created with AI, Dean. So
that was all you. Shout out to you.
Start off with the BVP suggestion of the day. We do have a borderline tier 1 play today, but it is borderline. But I'm going to put him in there because there's a lot of other facets there that jump out. It's Taylor Ward. It's Taylor Ward against Patrick.
Ooh.
Not surprising, Ward against a lefty and, things like that. Everything kind of lines up for him, but some decent enough numbers that we're going to put him in there. So Taylor Ward, BVP suggestion of the day. And the knockers, Dean. Everybody loves the knockers. They want some knockers. What about a little – I don't know, Dean. I'm hoping that some Canadian knockers are better than – their Canadian bacon and some other stuff they try to pawn off on us. So
I think it's fine. How dare you?
I'm going north of the border here for some Canadian knockers. This was, behind. Let me pull back the curtain a little bit. This was going to be a Varsho. Varsho was going to be a knocker, but they threw They threw me a monkey wrench, so I had to put Springer in his place along with Addison Barger. So Springer, Barger, 1-5 Canadian knockers. Let's do it.
All right. Do hit that like button. Do subscribe. Do turn on notifications. Do not go anywhere because we have crunch time coming in right now. It's Derek Carty. It's Tasteful Tides, Tim Buell. And it's Chief Meteorologist Kevin Roth. Crunch time right now. So, Kevin, I do have to ask, yesterday you dabbled in the MLB DFS streets. You were giving Jason Dominguez a bit of a hard time because of his nickname, the Martian. The Martian did come through. He banged out a 3-run homer, I believe. I think you were stacking the Yankees. How did your team? How did things turn out for you?
You know, I don't want to big time anybody on the show, so I don't want to dive too deep into it. But I can say that I put in my biggest entry on the year, and I doubled it up.
Woo! There it is. Do you want to give me the numbers?
Only $9, and I came out with 18. But that felt pretty good. It felt pretty good making that extra $9.
It's pretty good ROI. You can't complain about that ROI.
Right. That's right.
So are you back now? Are you hooked? Are you playing again tonight? You're rolling the dice?
I don't know. It just like I had the vibe yesterday. I heard who the pitchers were. I just knew. I knew the build that was going to win me the money. So as I listen to Carty and Tides today, we'll see. But if I know what's happening, we're going to lock it in again. I had a good time.
All right. Did anybody have a take, by the way? Favorite, I don't know if you caught the board. Favorite fictional TV movie dog or least favorites? There's a lot of suggestions. A lot of people are upset with, you only put 5 on the board. You can only do so much. There's a lot of choices. Anybody you want to tout? Tim? I don't know, Tim, you're a big dog guy, big animal guy. Who was the egregious mistake that you're so angry I mean that it's not on the board?
I mean, Scooby-Doo was too low. Come on.
Yeah, I was just going to say Scooby-Doo is the big issue there.
Scooby-Doo sucks. Yeah. Dogs are supposed to be protective, and Scooby-Doo is scared.
He literally saves people from ghosts, Dean.
No, you have to bribe him. He's give me a snack, and then maybe I'll do what every other dog does.
Apparently you've never owned a dog, Dean. You've never owned a dog, apparently, Dean.
That's what all dogs do, Dean.
That's how it goes.
That's not how I see it on TV. That's not how it works. You're saying TV lies? I'm a good dog sitter, and it works for me when dog sitting. But I don't know what the upside is for Scooby-Doo. Like he's scared. He's not protective in any way. The dogs are supposed to be protective, not protective, and he needs to be bribed. He's high maintenance. What's the upside?
I mean, he solves murders, Dean.
That's kind of a big upside, let's be honest.
Unintentionally, it just sort of happens
for him to save the town. Big whoop, Dean. Big whoop. Give him a Scooby snack.
I think he's overrated. That's all. But fair enough. I hear you. Somebody's got to be in the 4-hole. Who am I going to put in the 4-hole? So we had to knock Scooby-Doo. All right, chopping. Anything else before you step aside and get out of here and make way for crunch time?
Nah, we out.
You know what Power just pointed out? Brian from Family Guy, that was an egregious mistake. That's a bad job by me. I don't know where to put him, but yeah, Brian, pretty strong contender for sure. Okay, crunch time. It's starting right now. You got 45 minutes of Derek Carty and Tim and Roth. Roth, it's all yours.
Good stuff. As always, welcome to it, ladies and gents. You know the drill. It is crunch time. It is two of the sharpest minds in the industry and the best weatherman and only weatherman in the industry. Tasteful Tides, Tim in the house. What up, man? How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty well, Kevin. Nice to see you both. Big old slate tonight. Oh, and congrats on your $18 win last night, Kevin. Great. Nice work. Yeah, so
I've also learned you should definitely stack up like the first game because very early on, it was showing like plus $50 and I was like, oh, this is fun. And then I forgot like I had no one in the late game. So eventually people caught me, but it was fun, man. Thank you.
Yeah, it's a good time playing MLB. It's a lot. I think it's a lot harder than NBA personally. Yeah,
I do as well.
Experience in baseball than NBA.
Yeah, I think it takes a little bit more thinking. The lefty righty thing, you gotta adds a whole nother dimension to it. Or you can just look at one of the greatest projection systems that's ever been built by a human. That human, some would argue, is half cyborg. His name is Derek Carty. Half cyborg, I guess. If you're any machine, you're full cyborg. That is the definition of a cyborg. You can't be half cyborg. We got Derek Carty in the house. What up, man? How are you?
I'm doing pretty well. We got NFL rosters finalized today, or kind of finalized the cut deadline, which is nice. So I'll be digging into the week 1 for the Blitz pretty soon. We got a really nice baseball slate on our hands tonight. Things are good.
Okay, very good. Well, I'm excited to hear what we're doing. We mentioned it is a big slate. You like what we've got going on for it as well?
Yeah, I do. I think there's a little bit of everything on this slate. I think some of the best teams are kind of going to be overlooked. I think some of the best contrarian pitchers, no one's going to want to play. So it's a fun slate, I think.
Okay, very good. There is, it's a fun slate for me because there are no weather concerns, which is always great. I will just briefly note, you've got decent hitting conditions in New York. Winds are blowing out at 5 to 10, but it's not all that warm, mid-70s. That goes for both the Yankees and the Mets. Yankees winds are blowing out to center. Mets winds are blowing out to right. And then Oakland is my favorite hitting spot on the board. We've got this cold front that's moved through the Midwest and the East Coast. I think a lot of the country, you're likely feeling it right now, but that is not the case on the West Coast. So while there are a lot of games in the 60s and 70s, Oakland's temperature is still in the mid 80s and winds are blowing out there. So that is the best hitting weather on the slate. That's it. That's my whole spiel as far as weather goes. So let's dive in. DraftKings says the New York games are rainy. All right. Well,
they probably just mean that little image that's on the interface of the DK app where it shows like, you know what I'm saying?
That is kind of worth. Anytime you see that, you're like, okay, well, I should probably just double check.
I'm assuming that's what they mean.
Yeah, well, I agree, but they do that because their model is showing it. So let's see if there is a chance of rain. I appreciate someone pointing that out. Green, yellow. Like I see why, but I think that if they see rain late game, it would be light enough to not matter anyways. But I guess I can't fully rule out a later inning delay. The games will play regardless, and if they get a delay, it would likely be late enough to not matter. And more likely, they'd just play through if they see a few drops of rain. Okay, that's it. That's all we need to know there. Let's talk about the slate. Carty, you can lead us off. Some pitcher talk.
Yeah, slate by far is Hunter Brown. He's been really good this year, and he's facing the Rockies away from Coors Field. The Rockies are bad. They strike out a lot. He's expensive, but I mean, he's clearly the best guy, and the ownership isn't even like egregious where like you need to go out of your way to fade him necessarily. He'll be popular, but not like crazy popular, at least according to ownership projections. The next best guy, I think, is clearly Dylan Cease. In cash games, I think that's your pair. Cease is also really good, has gotten quite unlucky this year with BABIP luck and whatever else, but he's really, really good. Going into a good park here in Seattle, Pitchers Park, some decent pitching weather here, and facing this Mariners team that kind of lackluster. So I like Cease a lot. I like Hunter Brown a lot, and they'll be the two most popular. But then after that, pretty much anyone else is going to make you fairly different. I don't think you're going to see anyone else over like 15% ownership. So you can mix in guys like Kikuchi, Bassett, Luzardo, Luis Gil. But I kind of like the cheap stuff tonight. Like Sean Manaea is a talented pitcher, but he's in a really tough matchup against Philly tonight. But he's 7.9K. I'm willing to bank on the talent in some tournaments at that price and ownership, even with the tough matchup. And then Patrick Corbin is the gross vomit du jour, 6.3K. He's Patrick Corbin, but he's against the Angels. He projects only a point worse than anybody else on the slate besides Brown and Cease. So, you can pay 9K for Luzardo, or you can get Corbin for 3K less, and you lose like 1 point of projection. So I like Corbin in GPPs.
Wow. Tim, are you playing the vomit du jour, as Carty called Corbin?
Patrick Corbin. I am not playing Patrick Corbin, but I don't mind the take. It's a
You
pretty
don't have the
decent spot,
stones
but
to do it, Tim. That's right.
that
why.
that could be true. That could
Got to
be
put
true,
him on the
definitely.
table, Tim.
Man, I don't know. There are some cheaper guys that I do like today. And I would say that on FanDuel, just to talk really quick, Shamanaya at 7,200. I really like him on FanDuel a ton. He's just really, really, I mean, that's at a very, very affordable price. And, you know, in cash games, you're definitely playing Hunter Brown on both sites, but Manaya on FanDuel, I love. So yeah, I think that's a good call by him on that at least. Hunter Brown's my SB1 in all formats, in all sites. Like, he's clear and that's by far the best pitcher in the best matchup like possible in like the history of baseball, basically. So I mean, we have him currently at like around 35% projected ownership. I think he'll come in a little higher than that, but I don't really care. I would still try to get overweight him in GBPs and let other people not get those raw points. So I think Hunter Brown is my first guy in. Kikuchi or Bassett are who I'm currently leaning to as my SB2 in single entry. I'm fine with playing Dylan Cease in cash games. Luis Heel at 8K. Heel is like all over the place. He's got really, really bad control, but he's got decent strikeout stuff. And I think he's going to go pretty much unowned on the slate. So I do like Heel quite a bit. But really, and then I guess like if you need to go below 7K, like even Justin Verlander is okay on the slate. But
Is Patrick Corbin okay?
I don't really like Corbin. But it's like, you know, like I know the bat has the best projections, so it's
I'm
like,
just messing with you. Nobody wants to play Patrick Corbin.
I just can't click that name. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to tout it. But I mean, it's the projection's there for a reason. The projection's not wrong. So I mean, I'd rather play Verlander.
Two names that I have to bring up. First off, The Miz, who, if I'm not mistaken, is and was really good and then got injured and is maybe now working his way back. I assume there's some leash issues there, Tim.
Definitely
really.
leash concern. Oh,
sorry. My bad.
He's projected for like 80 pitches and he's 9,500. I personally, like, if I was making 150 tonight, I'd probably just X him out. But you think differently, Carty?
Not really. No, I'd probably X him out too. He's too expensive.
Yeah,
he's pretty much built up to where he normally is. Like 80 pitches is like his normal, but he's probably not built up enough to have like a ceiling game, like 100 pitches or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Does he have a good matchup? Because wasn't this guy just striking out everyone?
He's facing a pretty good offense. He was overrated to start with. He's good. He's got great stuff, but he's got terrible control. He doesn't have a long leash. And he's not in a good matchup, and he's expensive. So personally, I'm not really on him tonight.
Oh, okay, very good. And then Tim, the next name I want to bring up is Boyd. I've seen 3 or 4 people in the chat bring him up, and I don't think either of you even mentioned him.
I could make a case that he belongs in this, Luis Heel, Shamanaya type tier. He's not anywhere close to the Cease, Kikuchi, Bassett tier for me. He's a little bit expensive, but if you want to include him in a pool, I don't really have a problem with that, but he's not going to be a primary piece.
Carty, you got thoughts on that? Boyd?
This is one of those slates where it looks like 15 guys that all project between 12 and 16 points. Like they're all clustered. Boyd is in that cluster. Mm-hmm. There's nothing special about him. There's nothing that makes me be like, all right, I want to spend up and pay 8.7 for Boyd as opposed to, less for Manaya or Heel or Corbin or Fott or Verlander. I just think for the price, like he's the same as anyone else.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. Let's flip it and talk about the bats and the stacks. Tim, you can lead us off in that department.
Sure. So in case we didn't already know this, Jordan Alvarez is back tonight.
Yeah.
And he is extremely cheap on FanDuel. Yeah, and he's too cheap on both sites, but he's dirt cheap on FanDuel and really should be he's your first hitter in everywhere. So he's going to be highly owned, but I don't really care. I mean, he's way too cheap for that price, and he's definitely extremely strong play on DraftKings as well. I really like Houston tonight. I don't know if they would be my number one, but they would be really close. I think the Tigers against Bido are probably my number one in that really good hitting weather game that you already mentioned, Kevin. I think the Tigers are probably my number one stack. Houston maybe two. I like the Royals against Martin Perez as well. I was stunned that he's still pitching baseball. I heard Chop in the previous show. I was like, wow, he really is. He's still here. So he's fine. Yeah, I do like the Athletics also in that good hitting weather game. I'm a little bit worried they're going to be over-owned though. So that's my only little bit of concern with the Athletics, but it's obviously a really good spot. And I guess the last one that I would include is maybe the Yankees. The Yankees would be like my last against Mackenzie Gore. Just again, good hitting weather. Mackenzie Gore. I mean, he's talented, but he's volatile. So I mean, I don't mind getting the Yankees and what I think would be pretty low ownership.
Okay. I assume Jordan was doing like minor league
rehab stuff,
starts, kind of. Okay. I just want to make sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not too worried about the quote unquote rust. If that, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
I think he's fine. There'd be no reason to bring him back if he wasn't. So I would like to get on him early while his price is so low.
That makes sense to me. Okay, Carty, some of your favorite stacks?
The Tigers and the A's project just straight up in the bat as the best two stacks. Both teams in Oakland, or not in Oakland, in Sacramento. They're in Sacramento tonight, right? Yeah. So yeah, I like them like straight up the best. It doesn't look like the kind of slate where any team's really going to be overly popular. The bat thinks the Tigers will pick up some, the A's less, but I like both of them a lot. You know, the ownership's reasonable, the prices are reasonable, the upside's there, the matchups are good, like everything about it I like for both of these teams. I like the Dodgers a lot too. I think they're going to be, just too low owned for who they are, which is the Dodgers, and they're really, really good, and they're facing Nick Martinez. So I like them a lot. You have to pay for some of their better pieces, obviously, but you can do that with the cheaper pitching that we've talked about. So I like LA a lot. And then in terms of like cheaper value stuff, maybe not as full stacks, you can, but certainly as mini stacks or whatever. I like the Reds. I like the Royals. I like the Pirates. Even the Angels against Corbin, I don't mind at all. There's a lot of options on this slate, but I think Tigers, A's are the best, and I don't think they're really going to be like that popular.
Okay. If I'm doing this right, by the way, I'm looking at Jordan's minor league games here. I think he played 4 games and was batting .467 in those games. So yeah, I realize that's not major league competition, but I think he's I think he's all right.
I think he hit a couple extra base hits. I think he stole a base. Like he seems
he seems
ready.
Seems
to like
he's against Colorado, which is essentially a AAA team.
Oh,
so,
nice! It's another rehab start.
I mean, it's really just another rehab start.
Yeah, that's excellent. That works out well. Okay, well, I think I am. I was telling Dean before the show, am I going to play again? And I was like, I need to get a vibe for it. I think I've got a vibe. We're stacking up the Stros. We're all in on Jordan. We'll see how that goes. Carty, let's go around the horn, talk position by position. And
just 1 second before we do that. We still don't have a Tigers lineup. I want to see a Tigers lineup. So if anyone notices it, just post in chat that it comes out because I want to see it.
Okay. Very good. Let's start at catcher and we'll work our way around. Carty, what do we got?
Bangaliers, I think, is your top guy today. I'm going to like a lot of A's, a lot of Tigers. He's expensive, so you're not like for sure going to be playing him. Probably not in cash games where you're paying for like the 2 expensive pitchers, but certainly in tournaments and stacks. As a one-off, he's great. Will Smith for the Dodgers, very similar situation there. In terms of like value, cheaper stuff, in the mid-tier, you have Salvador Perez. You have Dingler potentially for the Tigers. And then I think you can just punt the position too with like Jose Trevino, Henry Davis for 2.2K, I think is a really good play. Mickey Gasper for 2K is fine. I think in cash you're probably going cheap, and I think in GPPs where you're playing a cheaper pitcher, there's some good options at the top of catcher.
Yeah, Tim, your thoughts?
If you have all the money, pay up for Shea Langoliers at 5,100. We talked about how much we like that game and the overall hitting weather. Same thing, assuming Dylan Dingler's in the lineup at 3,600. He'd probably be my next favorite catcher. You could always play Cal Raleigh. It is allowed even against Cease. So 6,200 one off for
actually
him.
kind of probably good. Yeah.
Yeah, it probably is. Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
he would be. He's gonna be pretty low owned. Salvador Perez at 4,100, I do like. Alejandro Kirk. We didn't really talk about Toronto that much. They have a pretty good matchup, but I don't love them as like full stacks, but getting to pieces of that team I think is fine. So like Alejandro Kirk, I think is a strong play. And then I think Carty did mention Henry Davis. I think if you want to save all the salary at catcher, which is fine, Henry Davis is fine at 2,200.
Especially because he's not a bad catcher. Like he's actually he has power. He's a legitimate hitter. He just doesn't play every day, and he's on the Pirates, and so he's priced at 2.2K. But he has talent. You're not just like punting and hoping you get like a single or something.
Right. Okay. Very good. How about first base? Who was that again? I'm sorry. I want to make sure I played that guy that we were just talking about, Carty.
Oh, Davis. Henry Davis.
Davis. Okay. I'm going to get him in the lineup.
Okay. First base, Ohtani is always a fantastic play. Optimals are giving Ohtani in cash games today. That's obviously fine. I wouldn't hate it though if you faded him though, even in cash games. Like, yes, it's a fantastic matchup, but there are other really good first basemen, and I think there are other really good raw point plays today. So I don't think he's some kind of must. But if you have all the money, then definitely play Ohtani. Vlad at 5,400. Nick Kurtz. I think Nick Kurtz is going to end up being pretty popular tonight, but he's a really strong play. Spencer Torkelson at 4,600. I like a lot. And then those would be like my primary spend up guys. If I was looking to go down, Spencer Steer is decent at 36. Spencer Horwitz at 3,400. I don't mind either. And Ezekiel Duran at the Stone Min at first base, second base. I think he's okay. I might prefer to play him at second, but he's a min price guy that you can play.
Okay. Carty, first base.
I agree. Ohtani's at the top, and the bat sees him as more of a priority, I think, than Tim does. Like if you run 100 optimal lineups, he's in 97 of them or something. Like he's a guy I do think you probably prioritize in cash tonight. But if you are saving money, Spencer Steer, I think, is my favorite. 3.6K for a pretty good hitter, can steal some bases, is hitting leadoff tonight. I think he's really good. I think Goldie for the same price is fine. You can go down a little bit, and I think Miguel Vargas is good. I probably prefer him at third tonight, but you can play him at first. Josh Bell is another cheap option. That's first for me.
Okay. Goes to second base.
Normally we kind of hem and haw about second base. And it's like, oh, second base is terrible. And it is. But Gleyber Torres tonight, I think is reasonably enough priced, and he's the top option on the slate. I want to see that he's in the lineup. And then we also have, for almost the Stone Min, we have a 2.1K Edouard Julien. This is a good spot. It's a really sneaky good park for power in Toronto. Bassett, I think, is a little bit overrated. He's cheap. He plays second base, and that's enough a lot of times. So I like Julien. I like Nick Lofton as a cheap guy. Jonathan India is always too cheap. If you're doing a red stack, McLean, second base is not terrible tonight.
Yeah. Okay. That's about as ringing of an endorsement as we ever get at the position. Tim, what are your thoughts at second?
Yeah, second is not horrible tonight. I'm with Carty. Torres is the top overall second baseman, assuming he's in the lineup. Bryce Terang at 4,400, I think, is a really strong GPP pivot off of Torres, right around the exact same price. So I really do I really do like that quite a bit. I'm fine with Jonathan India, Edward Julian at 2,100 or Ezekiel Duran at the Stone Min are both really strong salary saving options.
Yeah. Okay. Third base.
Oh, and don't forget about Jose Altuve as part of those Houston stacks. I mean, he's really priced up, but I do like that Houston stack a ton. So I don't mind him at 5,500.
Okay, even in a righty, because I was about to click.
Even in a righty. Yeah, I mean, the thesis is that we're hoping that he gets blown up, and then they have to throw out that awful Rockies bullpen. So I'm hoping that really any of these Houston guys could be viable in a stack for sure. So, and I don't think Altuve is going to go super highly owned or anything.
I like it. Take me to third base.
Righty's not as big of a penalty as righty's not as big of a penalty as lefty is. Just
that makes no sense, Carty. It's the same damn thing. That
the same damn thing.
In my non-baseball brain, I don't understand that. But,
it's because there are more right-handers than left-handers in the world and in baseball. So right-handers have seen lots and lots of right-handed pitchers. Left-handed hitters have seen fewer left-handed pitchers in their lives.
Yeah, that checks out. Okay, fair enough. I appreciate the lesson there. All right, Tim, third base. What do we like?
Yeah, so Colt Keith, 3,700. Assuming he's at the top part of that Detroit lineup, I think he's a really strong play on both FanDuel and DraftKings. So I really do like him quite a bit. Zach McKinstry, he'll be a part of that Tigers stack that we like a lot, presumably at the bottom, but still, I think he's going to go really low owned. Carlos Correa at 4K. Again, anybody in that Houston game, I really like a ton. This position doesn't seem that great to me. So I guess my preferred one-offs would be somebody like Manny Machado or Miguel Garcia at 4,600. But really, I feel like this position is going to be just like a mostly in stacks position for me.
Yeah. Okay. Carty, your thoughts at third?
Yeah, third's the worst position tonight. I really am not big on any of the high-end guys. Like Miguel Garcia is fine. I'd rather just save money here. You have Colt Keith. You have Miguel Vargas, who I mentioned at first. I like him more at third here because of how weak the position is. I mean, he's 3.4K, and he projects straight up as the third best guy on the slate. So I like Vargas. And then I think you can also save with Brian Hayes for 2.6K. I think this is a good enough matchup for Cincinnati, and they're all priced too low. So at a bad position, you can definitely just punt it with him.
Yeah. Okay. That brings us into short. What are we doing there, Carty?
High end of short is good tonight, but not great. I don't think you have to prioritize it because we have so many good bats, especially when we get to the outfield. But first base too, if you're playing Ohtani, like I think there's both pitchers. I think there's bigger priorities. Where you're playing cheaper pitchers, like you can play Bobby Witt, he's good. Ellie De La Cruz is good. Zach Neto and Lindor are right there with him. But I think I'd rather just punt shortstop tonight. Jared Triolo is leading off for the Pirates. He's 2.8K. He's in a good matchup against Palante. Yeah, I think it's kind of one of these nights where it's like you go all the way up or you go all the way down. There's not a lot in the mid tier that I like.
Okay. Tim, your thoughts at short?
I think I'm a little bit higher than Carty at the shortstop position. Like Triolo is completely fine as a punt. But I really love Bobby Witt tonight at 5,600. I think he's a really, really strong play. I was kind of, trying to figure out like Ohtani and Bobby Witt, and then I was like maybe just Bobby Witt and no Ohtani. But it's pretty close. But I really do like Bobby Witt a ton. Zach Neto at 4,900. I think he's a really strong play. Jeremy Pena at 5,200. Again, same thing as Altuve. He's expensive, but I think his ownership will be low. And, so I think he's a really, really solid play for, Houston stacks. I don't even mind CJ Abrams actually at 5,400. We do have a quick question in chat. Best shortstop value. If you're looking for value, it's definitely Triolo at 2,800.
Oh,
But I think personally, I like spending up at short. But yeah, he's a really solid play at only 2,800.
Okay, you get to bring me to the outfield, Tim. What are we doing there?
Yeah, so this is where I differ a little bit with the bat. I mean, the bat does like the Tigers a ton, but I'm getting to more Tigers in cash than I think that the bat, at least earlier, was kind of giving out in its first couple optimals. So like Riley Green to me at 5,600 is my first priority bat, in except for Yordan Alvarez, who I already talked about. But I mean, Riley Green, Kerry Carpenter, I really like both of them tonight. They're going to be popular. I'm trying to figure out like how to. I want to play Green, Carpenter, and Alvarez as my cash game outfielders, and I mean it's pretty easy to do, but that's what I currently want to do. And then to the other side of that game, Tyler Soderstrom at 42. I really like him a ton. Obviously, you can always play Aaron Judge, but I'm personally not playing any Yankees tonight. But I mean, they're always a smash. Teoscar Hernandez at 4,300. I think he's a really strong play. We talked about Toronto. I think George Springer is fine at 5K. Wenzel Perez at 41 as part of that Tiger stack, I really like tonight. So that entire Tigers outfield, I think, is a really, really strong play. Outside of, I wouldn't play Perez in cash, but in GBPs, I like all of them.
Okay, very good. Carty, your favorites there in the outfield.
Yeah, I like the Tigers guys. Like I think Riley Green, Kerry Carpenter are great. It's not that the bat doesn't like them. It's that you have Brent Rooker like right there on the other side of the game for 700 less than Green, 400 less than Carpenter. So salary wise, just I think Rooker makes more sense, but I do like the Tiger stuff a lot. Wenzel Perez, I like probably the most of the Tigers guys, price considered. Soderstrom in the A's lineup also looks good. I like Dodger stuff again. Like if you have the money for Ohtani, and I do think you can make the money for Ohtani, he's clearly the top guy tonight. I think Teoscar in the same lineup looks good. After that, it's kind of just stuff in stacks, one-offs. Like you don't have to do a whole lot to be different tonight. Like A's Tiger stuff that projects really well, I think that gets you different enough for the most part. So yeah, I don't think you have to go crazy like trying to find something weird.
Okay, very good. We want to find the people some home runs. So I'll give you both a minute. Carty, Tim, think about some home run calls. I also want to make sure that we are getting the people ready with NFL. What, about a week and a half away, I believe. And we got some good stuff cooked up for you. If you're playing anything season long and you haven't done your drafts, if you're still digging in those best ball streets, check out Fantasy Labs, your home for season-long fantasy football and best ball content. You get access to rankings, projections, articles, and more from award-winning experts Sean Corner and Chris Raybon. Fantasy Labs has an app that lets you get those real-time rankings, draft cheat sheets, and lineup advice on the go. Very crucial. Sign up with code RG15 for $15 off. And while I'm pumping our products, do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button for us. This is free content. We want to keep it free for years and years and decades to come. But we need the eyeballs to make that happen. Your thumbs up gets the eyeballs, keeps the show free. Hit the like button. Let's do some home run calls. Tim, what do you got for me?
Okay, just straight up, not betting this at plus 210, but Kerry Carpenter, I like him for a home run. Jacob Wilson at plus 700 for Oakland, or excuse me, for the Athletics. I am betting Jacob Wilson plus 700 tonight. And I am betting Gleyber Torres plus 425.
Okay. I'm going to cut in front of Carty in case he takes my guy, Yordan. We're getting a Yordan bomb, a first game back Yordan bomb coming tonight. Carty, what do you like?
I like Yordan. Thanks for cutting in front of me.
Yeah, let's go.
Top guy according to the bat overall is Ohtani in the high end, but Yordan's like, I think like third highest chance, and he's priced in the mid-range. So I like Yordan a lot. I like Cal Raleigh a lot as an off-the-board guy. Like no one's going to play him, but his chances are high, and you get the leverage. And then something a little bit cheaper, maybe like Christian Walker, Matt Wallner. Yeah.
Okay. It looks like Mr. Richard says the Detroit lineup was just posted.
I have not seen it, but
I would like to see it.
James says no Dingler for Detroit.
okay. So Jake Rogers is batting ninth. So it's Colt, Keith, Torres, Carpenter, Green, Torkelson, Perez, McKinstry, Baez, Rogers.
Well, Dingler was kind of a staple of that stack, was he not, Tim?
I mean, he's a decent play. I don't think this is like this isn't a
Where
huge.
are you seeing a
huge
lineup? I
deal.
still don't see it anywhere.
I'm looking at our Slack channel, MLB projection Slack channel.
Oh, okay.
I had just booted Dingler for Henry Davis, so your boy better get it done for me, gentlemen. Let's see. By the way, if you watched last night, you know that I was certain I was going to win all the money, and now I'm looking at this entry. I will not win all the money. I'm playing Verlander. Am I insane?
I don't think it's that. I don't think it's that
Okay.
crazy.
I just.
He's not. He probably isn't going to win you a tournament, but I don't think he's horrible.
Just the Houston bats that I want are expensive, man. Like Altuve and these dudes combined with some of the Detroit bats, like it ain't easy in these streets. So we gotta make some concessions somewhere. We are about 10 minutes until lock. Want to make sure we answer anybody's questions. So if you have any questions, please do get them in, starting in the Discord. And we'll go with D-Rock's question. Carty, what is Keith's pinch hit risk?
I can pull that up real quick. I mean, he projects well, so I don't think it's that high. Oh, all right, 34%. So it is actually high. But second base is terrible. Oh no, third base is terrible. So and he's leading off. So that's why he projects well. Also, I didn't notice it before, but there's an extreme hitters umpire in this game. So just lots of reasons to like this game.
Which game is that?
Detroit Athletics.
Very nice. Okay. Let's see. The DK cash priorities for position players from our friend Sin3. Tim, does Jordan make the cut?
Yeah, Jordan, Keith. Carty says says Otani, which is fine. I kind of prefer going one of those high-end Tigers, but I mean definitely Jordan and Keith. Those would be my two priority.
Okay. Let's see what we got in the YouTube. Don says, hey, who's another catcher we can get to besides Dingler? Like, let's say you had Dingler at that price range, Tim. Mm-hmm. What's a kind of a one-to-one pivot? Or if you need to go into a different price range, that's fine as well.
Right around there is Alejandro Kirk at 3,500, Victor Cantini at 31. I think both of those guys are fine. And they're right around that same price point. A little bit more money is Sal Perez at 41. So I think those are all viable options.
Okay. Carty Joseph says Bassett and Kikuchi or Luzardo and Perez.
I think Bassett, Kikuchi.
Okay. Flying Armbar says Tim and Roth for 2028 for US. I think he had you first. So you're president. I'm vice president. Carty, will you be like, I don't know, secretary of numbers?
I can be secretary of numbers. I feel like I'm qualified.
Love that. All right. You're in, man. I got you. Scrolling down. Tim Allen says Bassett and Boyd, or do I need at least one Brown?
I would get to Brown, definitely.
Yeah, I did as well. Scrolling down. Carty, who is the third best DK cash pitcher? So assuming you think it's Brown and Cease at 1 and 2.
No, you don't want to know who I think it is. You don't want to know.
God, it's vomit. Who was it again? That was who you described him as your gross vomit play of the day.
I'd say Patrick Corbin, just because the price is lower than everyone else, and after that top two, you have just a big clump. So just play the cheap guy. But the real answer is just play Brown and Cease in cash games.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see, scrolling down a little bit. Flying Armbar pointing out there's 552,000 people watching and we only have 137 likes. He says, come on, guys, this is free stuff. It is. It's free for now. But if people don't hit the like button, we're going to start charging. I don't make the rules. That's just how it goes. Unreleased lo-fi music, 4 lineups on FanDuel. Tim, would you play 3 Brown, 1 Manaea?
That's completely fine. I saw that question. I think that's solid. I might consider going 2 Brown, 2 Manaea, but it's either 3-1 or 2-2.
Okay, great. Any love, Carty, for a Luke Keyshaw from Allen?
He's fine, but let me see the price real quick. I mean, he's 4.7K. I think you just play the guy who's, what does he cost? Leading off and is 2.1K in that game. Julian, maybe not leading off, actually. I'm thinking Triolo, but he's sitting 5th. He's so cheap. Like, I'd much rather just punt it.
Yeah. Okay. Carty, right back to you. DK Cash from Razzle Dazzles. You want Goldie and Gasper or Horowitz and Davis?
Who was that question for? Was that me?
It was for you. Goldie and Gasper or Horowitz and Davis?
Probably Goldie and Gasper for me.
Okay. We got about
Although I think I'd rather play Steer than Goldie. I think they're the same price.
Okay. Got about 5 minutes until lock. Peter says, Tim, GPP large field tournament, your favorite lower owned stacks. I know you're on Houston. I know you're on Detroit. What are your favorite lower owned stacks?
The Yankees, the Royals. I don't mind pieces of Toronto either. I think all those teams will be pretty low owned.
Okay, very good. Tim, right back to you from Jim. Thoughts on Neto Ward?
So if you ask me, I think that's fantastic. If you ask Derek, he would probably say no. So definitely, I really don't mind the Angels at all tonight. I think they're a really good stack. So at least to get like,
I don't have a problem with an Angel stack tonight, even though I kind of think Corbin's viable. It's more just a price thing. You can definitely play Angels. They're cheap enough too, and they're decent.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind the Angels at all.
Yeah. Okay. Tim, I'm going to come back to you because you just mentioned some Blue Jays, liking a few of them. Well, Peter's question is your favorite Blue Jays in a stack or just don't play them? I don't.
Oh, no, you can definitely I would definitely get exposure to Toronto. If I had to name my favorites, it would probably be Vlad, then George Springer, and then Alejandro Kirk for value at 3,500, and he fills the catcher role, batting 6th. So I really do like Kirk quite a bit tonight. So yeah, Springer, Guerrero, Kirk, I think are all great. So that could be like a mini. If you wanted to play a full 5-man, you could add Bo Bichette, obviously, or cheap guys like Ernie Clement or Ty France.
Yeah. Okay. Carty, Derek says no pitcher on this slate has been as consistent as Charlie Morton lately. Why the fade? Carty, he's been consistent for 30 years. He's still doing it. Why the fade?
I mean, he's still going. He's still a solid pitcher, but he's nothing special. Obviously, he struggled crazily early in the year. Like, I don't think consistency really means anything. More than anything else, I think it's a matter of price and it's a matter of matchup. The price is really good. The prices on the A's are really good. You have the hot weather. You have the wind blowing out. You have the extreme hitters umpire. I'm not scared of Charlie Morton.
Yeah, just kind of a collection of little things that tilt you away from him.
And the park. The park has played incredible this year. The Bad X isn't even fully believing in the park, and it likes these guys here. If the park is actually as good as it's played this year, and in the small sample we've had, they're even better.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see, Carty, Nico Cavadas, or just play Goldie. Is that a real person?
It is.
Who's a real person? Goldie?
Nico Cavadas, or do I just play Goldie?
Goldie or Steer.
Yeah. Okay. Tim, back to you for a couple of these. Riley says Keith or Correa on FanDuel. Thank you. Actually, he didn't say thank you, but I'm saying it for him.
What was the question?
Keith or Carrera Correa, sorry, on FanDuel.
They're both good. I would probably stick with Keith.
Okay. Christopher says, are you threatening to charge the freeloaders if we don't get likes? I'm just telling you the way business works. If there aren't people watching, we're not going to keep doing a free show, and the likes get more people watching, and that it is a snowball effect, which keeps the show free. So, I'm not threatening to cut you off. It's just predicting the future. Carty and Mr. GQ. So, Carty, you are not Mr. GQ in this question. So, for Carty and for Mr. GQ, one team to win it all. Carty, you can go first.
The A's.
A's. Tim?
I will go with the Royals.
Okay. We are less than 2 minutes until lock. We did have some questions come in. Lightning round these to get to them all. Tim, DK, GPP, Kikuchi, or Bassett?
Super close. I have that same 1v1 in my single entry team. I'm going with Bassett.
Okay. Carty, Allen says Cease or Boyd at SP2.
Cease.
Okay. Carty, back to you. FanDuel single entry, Correa, Kurtz, or Bo and Rooker?
Bo Rooker, but it's close.
Okay. And then final question here in before the buzzer. Razzle Dazzle says DK Cash, Tim, your favorite outfielder, 4,300 or less?
That's a tough range.
You got Wensteel Perez at 41, right?
Yeah, that's or Soderstrom at 42. Yeah. It'd be one of those two guys.
Okay. A few more questions coming into the YouTube. We'll see if we can knock these out. DK, GPP, Kikuchi, or Bassett Tides?
I think we just did that one.
It was doubled up in the.
Yeah, I'm doing Bassett. Yeah.
Okay. Adele or Wenzel Perez Tides?
Perez.
Very good. And with that, we have answered all the questions. We are seconds until we hit the lock. I do see my guy Blink 182 typing, so we'll give him maybe 10 seconds or so. I will encourage everyone yet again to hit that thumbs up as we have now just hit the lock. I'm excited to see how this one goes. Well, I don't know. I felt very confident about my lineup last night. It's tough to feel confident in Justin Verlander these days, but we shall see how that works. Here we go. Final question of the day. Carty, I'm going to give this to you. Julian, Brooks Baldwin, and Jacob Wilson, or Geloff, Brooks Lee, and Siegler, DK.
God, I don't like any of it. The first one, I think. First one.
That is fair. Hey, guys, with that, we are going to clear on out of here. So for Tim and for Carty and for our wonderful production crew, always working hard behind the scenes, guys, we appreciate you. We love you, and we will catch you tomorrow. You have